Hi, Ali. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. So for those who haven't had a chance, to meet you and your organization, perhaps a couple of words about your role, your experience, and what TA does in the market.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the Chief Technology Officer at TA Digital. And for those who don't know, we are a digital transformation agency. So we work with customers through the entire customer journey from experience, data, marketing, content, commerce, search, the entire journey of digital transformation that they go through. So we're very much focused on getting them best of breed tools, top of the line products, and then helping them take advantage of it for sure.
Well, it puts you in a really interesting spot to comment on really what you see are the considerations that brands should have when they think about embarking on a transformation journey. I mean, transformation journey is transformational. And so each company tends to have its own path and approach to it. What are some of the common things that you work with your customers on to help them evaluate and consider what's the right architecture and solutions for them?
Well, that's an interesting point because obviously there are a lot of things to consider when you're working with a customer trying to figure out what is the best path forward. There are things along the lines of business requirements, marketing needs, IT teams, and then what they work with. But I think one of the areas that I'm seeing neglected a lot of the times in these type of conversations is trying to understand what type of organization you want to be. Do you want to be an organization that's going to leverage a end-to-end platform? There are a lot of good platforms out there that give you the end-to-end capability. Or do you want an organization that's going to build their entire ecosystem around kind of headless microservices, modular, composable, if you want to call it that, DXP? So making that decision really changes the direction for a lot of these conversations going forward. So when I work with customers, the first thing I do is trying to explain this to them and try and get down to the direction they want to head to. And obviously, it's not a binary question. It's a conversation. It's understanding their vision and the direction. But this is one of the areas that I often see myself talking to customers about to try and get them to the right path.
So there's a number of different dimensions to that. It's the technology, it's the business, it's the leadership of the organization. How do you help brands work through sort of the concept of organizational maturity? Because there's an interesting dimension, which is headless certainly provides a lot of control, and that's attractive. And there's also the question of how do we figure out and how do brands assess whether they're in the right spot for that? How do you work that conversation with a customer?
Well, I mean, the thing I look about when I look at organizational maturity, I think historically this has been the biggest measure of success or failure when it comes to digital transformation. I've seen way too often organizations spend millions and millions of dollars into digital transformation without really looking inwards into their culture, into how they're ready to adopt that technology. And more often than not, their teams just don't adopt it and work around it, and they don't see any business value out of their investment. So what we like to do is work with our customers to really not just focus on the technology and their business, but also focus on their internal culture and how to prepare that culture into the next wave of digital transformation. Oftentimes, it's not something that happens overnight. Oftentimes, this is something that you have to work through, just like you do with your digital transformation initiatives. But we always implore our customers to focus on that, because at the end of the day, you don't get any business value on the investments unless you focus on adopting those changes.
So it really is about fit in all dimensions, not just can the products do it and can the architecture do it, but can an organization, is it a fit for the organizational culture and the way that it wants to work as well?
Yeah, and the technologist in me always answers with it depends, and sometimes people don't really like that response, but at the end of the day, all these products they're all applications, and applications can do whatever you want them to do. The question is it the right thing? Is this product built to do that? Is it native to that product's functionality and core features? But I think the larger question that I always ask my customers when they say, can the product do this, is do you need it to do this? Is this
Mm.
something you really need? And having that conversation, sometimes a little frightening, but it really gets us to the bottom of these conversations in a way that's a lot more profound for the customer itself.
Well, very interesting. Well, Ali, thank you very much for joining. It's great to have an opportunity to speak with you about your experiences working with brands and helping them find the right strategies on a transformation journey. And look forward to hopefully having the chance to do this again at some point soon.
My pleasure, Amos. Thank you for having me.